What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hey, it's another Tuesday with Talking Martelli. I got a good buddy with me this time, and David.
We're going to cover some announcements really quick to go, and then we're going to try to make this as quick as possible so we can get right into the show. But before we do that, I want Brian to talk a little bit about his Reno trip and some of the things that were said to him in Reno that was really touching, and we want to reach out and just say thank you. But before we do that, real quick, June 18th, we have a quilting room basic sale. That is a 24-hour sale. It starts today. If you were with us a little while ago, I was able to go over each and every one of those products. So if you missed out, you can go to the Martelli Enterprise Facebook page and you can see that video, and it will explain all the products. June 25th and 26th, open house. This is
Open
huge,
house.
folks. Huge. We're going to do lots of giveaways. We're going to do machine giveaways, table giveaways. We're going to give away a lot of little tickets. You have to be present. You got to be present to win, though.
I'll be there.
And I will be there, and we'll have a lot of other people here that you're used to seeing on a weekly basis.
Remember,
so
now David always says dress a little nice because we're going to take pictures.
Lots of pictures and lots of hugs.
Yes.
That's all I'm going to tell
So
you.
we'll get pictures with everybody. It'll be a lot of fun. 2 days, so 9 to 3, or 9 to 4, and 9 to 3 on Saturday, right?
Yep.
Okay.
June 25th, we have Marie Powers with the beach bag class. You're not going to want to miss that. Really good teacher. And then, of course, this Thursday, we have our Thursday Fabric Live Sale event. So you're not going to want to miss that. Have a lot of really good bundles for you. And just something that you're really going to want to show up to and partake in, because we have a lot of cool stuff. And if I remember correctly, Brian, you can remind me on this one. Okay. Wasn't this one all basically deal based? Like, we did these all based on deals and values, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. This
100%.
A value week, so you're not going to want to miss this week on Martelli Enterprise.
It is. Yeah.
Facebook page.
There's going to be some that are just not a whole lot. Like, lots or bundles of them, or it's maybe like 2 to 3. So you better hurry up, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because most weeks we'll do seven, 5, 6, 7.
There's not a lot to go around.
Mm-hmm. Just
So
all value based.
jump on it. You see it, you get it. That's
Marked
it.
to sell. That's the best way to do it.
And when we're done, we're done, and it's over. It may not even. It's probably this week that what we have out. It's not going until 7 o'clock. There's no way.
So what you think, man? Let's talk about some fire and some fire
Yes.
safety and
All
all that
right.
cool
So
stuff. Huh? Introduce your guest, man.
Yeah. All right. So I've got everybody say hello to Mr. Greg McLellan. How are you, bud?
Good. Thanks for having me.
So we go way back. We have somebody that I guess that put us together,
Mutual
right?
friend.
Mutual
Yeah.
friend. Some random stranger. His name is David Mediers. We won't mention his name that much. We don't want to get that much notoriety.
Right. No.
But how are you doing, David? I hope you're slinging some beer around all over the country.
Oh yeah.
Or just really in Pensacola.
Yeah.
So we got to meet when David had Frosted Tips.
Frosted Tips.
Yes.
NSYNC, Backstreet Boys. Did.
That's right.
Sure.
And that is confirmed, right?
Confirmed.
Yes.
Confirmed.
All right. Boom. Now it's in. So we've known each other for a little while. I mean, 10, 15 years maybe.
Ooh, maybe more.
Yeah. So when we started this show, I wanted to make sure that we got him in because he's got a fascinating story. Yes, he is a fireman, but like we had a couple of people, hey Gail and hey Ted, come in with their grandkids today just to meet Greg because he's a hero, firefighters, and they had to guess it, and they did when they saw your helmet.
And military.
And the military, and then it was a double because he is in the military too, and we'll go over that as well. So I went over how we met. It's personal information. Greg, just give us how old you are, all that good stuff. Where did you get started? Where were you born? All that good stuff.
Man, I'm from Pensacola, born and raised. 36 years old. Been doing the fire service for 15 years. Getting up there. Yeah, getting up there. My body feels it too.
Yeah.
Been in the military for almost 9 years. Florida National Guard, located out of Pensacola.
Thank you.
So I don't really like to call myself a hero, but I mean
those kids.
I know,
you saw that. That's what makes it. That's what makes everything.
It is.
That makes the day, right?
It does.
If a kid comes and see you at the fire department, or just on military ground, whatever it is, that is. I mean, I'm just getting chill bumps thinking about it with those that little girl.
Yeah, when they tell you, thanks for your service on any level. I mean, it really kind of makes it all worth it.
Yeah.
It does, so.
Well, we appreciate it. I know that. So. We're going to our military career. So, starting with the military, when did you get involved in that? Was that before fire?
No. That was after. I hate to say it like this, but out of necessity, I needed health insurance because health insurance for the city was a little pricey. So
Still is.
Yeah, it is. So that's why I'm still in the military. But I joined the military to get health insurance, and I ended up being pretty good at it.
So
that was back in 2012, and been doing it ever since.
you just came back from Macedonia. How was that?
It wasn't bad. The weather was nice. The training wasn't too terrible.
I saw some pics.
They were
It was good.
nice. I got stuck on what's called trail. So main body, which is everybody, leaves and comes home. Trail, about 10 people stay behind and make sure all our equipment gets loaded up and put on a boat. So
Right.
I got to do trail, which meant I got to go and
Now,
see the
what are
city.
you in the military?
I am
rank or whatever.
I am a staff sergeant.
Okay, so they
19
gotta listen to
Delta Cavalry. We
All
do
right, hey.
recon.
Boys.
Yeah,
Woohoo! So they have to listen to you.
a little bit.
Yeah, and it was cool to see somebody. I guess a few years ago, I think I don't know if Alicia posted or you did, but you taught somebody in Little League or coached somebody in Little League, and then they went into the Army.
Yeah, so randomly I was I coached this kid in Little League out of Cantonment, like years before I was even in the
Right.
military. I guess he moved away. I lost contact with him, never heard from him again, and I show up in this class in Virginia at Fort Eustis, and this kid looks familiar. He sees me and recognizes me. I kind of recognize him.
Coach,
And he's like,
well,
I was like, wait a minute, what? And so it's just crazy. I mean, just 15 years
That's
later.
crazy.
Yeah.
So that's moving forward. That's a good experience because you taught them something then
Right.
in Little League, right?
Yeah.
So well, I don't know about that.
Oh yeah.
I mean something.
Yeah.
They run to the pole back.
But the kid, what was crazy is all those years later, the kid told me, he's like, he tried out for high school and he made it. And he's like, the only thing that that in his head that kept him motivated was like the stuff I taught him as Little League. So
Wow.
That means something.
yeah, it does. Like,
I'm sorry, that means something.
and my whole thing is, teaching the game or whatever aside, I want to teach kids to be better adults,
Yeah.
better people.
It's lacking in the
we
country.
need
for
it,
sure.
No
and
doubt.
so
No doubt.
that's one thing that So, all right. So moving on, David, you got anything?
No, just to add a little bit to that, I know a lot of times when you're young, and I know it's not really having to do with fire right now, but when you're young, that's your most impressionable year. So even as some of my teachers, I can recall back when I was in first and second and third grade,
Mhm.
that's the time in a kid's life where they pick up a lot of things.
It's impressionable time.
Yeah.
That's impressionable
Yeah.
time. Like I still know. Do you know Randy McBride?
Mm-mm.
We went to Tate and all that stuff, and his dad taught me like all through. Coach Ed was like the best. Like I still know
Right.
that. Like I know that guy.
Right.
I was so impressionable then, but you learn discipline,
Yep.
ethics, hard work, all that good stuff.
Teamwork.
And teamwork is the biggest. Is
Mhm.
So and that moves forward not only in coaching, right?
Right.
Military for sure.
Oh yeah.
And then it rolls into firefighting.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you're not disciplined in firefighting, get you
You
killed.
can't do
Oh, yeah.
Get you
any of
killed.
those three things without that type of discipline.
Right.
So I mean, they just that's a flat line with you. I
Yeah.
mean, that's perfect for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. It really just kind of, like they said in Forrest Gump, like one of those little square pegs. I mean, that was me. I fit perfectly just in all those. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good
I was-
upbringing, I'm sure. You probably had a good upbringing.
Yeah. My parents definitely instilled a lot in me for
Yeah.
sure. So.
And got a good woman behind you too.
Oh yeah.
Thank
Oh,
God.
That
Big
matters.
time. Big time.
Shout out to Alicia.
Outkicked my coverage.
in the studio right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, good for you. Good for you. So training and continual training. So I want to go over this. So you started in the fire department because we're going to need to get on to fire.
Sure.
What we're here for.
Yeah.
You rock these kids' world with, they got to wear your hat, and this is an older one. And
Right.
you obviously got a newer one, but so you got started in the fire academy, right? Is there an academy?
Well,
Is
I
that how it works,
started. I
David?
started out. It was actually at PJC before it was PSC.
Okay,
Over
yeah.
in Warrington, and
Pensacola Junior College
Yep.
turned into Pensacola State College. By the way.
Is it just firefighter 1 and firefighter 2? Is that what they do for at a JUCO level? Is that what they
Yes.
start on?
Yep, 1
yeah,
and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily have to, but she probably did it the right way because it probably was a little bit more detailed. You could take firefighter 1, firefighter 2 outside that too. But it's a lot of commitment. It's a lot of time. It's not like you can have a full-time job. you know, doing anything you want, and then go, yeah, I'm going to take firefighter 1, firefighter 2.
Yeah, on the
It's
side.
a commitment.
Right.
It's not like I'm going to do it on the side.
Right, yeah, no.
So you're like,
Well,
all right.
the way they worked it back then through PJC is they did it at nighttime, so you could
Yeah.
work a day job.
Yep.
Now,
Oh, okay,
now
that's
it's through George Stone, and it's school hours.
It's definitely-
during
Yeah,
the
that's
day.
what I did,
so
at nighttime.
I mean, if you get a night job, you probably make it work.
Yeah,
But
that's a good point.
but yeah, no. So I started out in the academy and applied for the cadet position through the city. I was a cadet for maybe 3-4 months.
How does that work in the city, the cadet program? Because
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
It's
the same.
different now.
Okay.
It's different now because now they hire you as a cadet before you even go through the academy, and they kind of, it's like, I don't want to say scholarship, but it's kind of how a scholarship works.
Yeah.
Is they pay your way through the academy, so they kind of foster you through the academy and help you, and you get your EMT through that as well.
Well, I know in the
Have
county.
I mean, I've watched Rescue Me. I love that show.
Sure.
I'm rewatching it now,
Right.
actually. I literally started watching Rescue Me when you said this week. I was
Right.
like, okay, so that was, I'm going through it now.
Right.
Are there probies really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you have a probationary status for a year.
And I mean, is it really?
They get a
Well, I mean, I don't know how it is, but I'm going to tell you the county's way different. They would accept almost anybody, man. And sometimes, I'm not going to lie to you, I was scared to death. Well, this is back in the day. You know, you're not supposed to go in the hot zone.
Right.
But everybody did, at
Yeah.
least in the county. I don't know how
Yeah.
it is with the city. And we have some people come in, they want to wear a T-shirt, man. You go to
Yeah.
fire and you're just like, you just don't know if this kid's going to get me killed. I'm like, I'm supposed to be on the hose
Yeah,
with
that's
this
right.
guy.
You got to
I
have
don't know
each
if he's
other's
going to
back.
leave
right?
me.
You
Oh,
got to trust
you
that
don't
150%.
leave.
Not
Yes.
just you got to
Yeah.
know that's your life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, and I mean, you know who probationary guys are because they have a huge orange shield. This shield right here.
Yeah.
Would be
It's a
right
huge
on.
orange thing that says probationary. So that's kind of you know who they are.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't have that. Well, like
Do you
in the
make them do
county,
a
they
lot of
didn't have
stuff?
that, but they would have. They would have.
You
different-
can't. Don't say he does.
No, I mean,
Yes,
they,
he does.
everyone has daily duties at the station. Just probationary guys may
Have
have
more.
more.
Yeah. They have to put the hose back on the truck.
Yeah.
They have to do all the clean. They have to wash the trucks.
Lot
At
of-
least that's what they did.
But everybody had to do that at one point in time.
Sure.
Yeah,
Right?
of course,
Yeah,
of course.
you pay
Especially
your
when you
way
first
in. I
started,
mean,
you pay your dues.
Yeah.
Yeah, pay your
Sure.
dues. That makes you, when you're paying your dues like that. All right, we made him do a little bit more than he probably had.
Well, to be
do.
honest with you, that's
But-
when you learn. That's when you're learning. That's when I learned the most. When I first started, of course, but it was a little bit different. I don't know how you are, but it was a little bit different when I got there because it was probably the third or fourth shift before I was actually thrown into the hot zone. You know, I
Right.
sucked a bottle down in just a few minutes. I was
Right.
scared to death, and it wasn't even an occupied house.
Right.
You know, it was it was an accidental fire across the. Can't go into that. There was
Yeah,
an
yeah.
accidental fire across the street
Right.
from the fire department, and that's what we used for training. It just happened to start like right when we had training. that
Sure.
night,
That's
so,
super cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That was back in the time where Mike and I went to, and we were the biggest ones at the fire department. So Lewis would always pick on us. But I'll tell you what, our police chief here in the county, he was one of the most knowledgeable guys that I'd ever been around. Just really good at what he does. He's since passed, God rest his soul, but he's a
Yeah.
really, really smart guy.
Are you city or county?
I'm city.
You're city.
Yep.
So and that's better than county, right? Y'all see what I'm doing here?
Listen,
Hey,
it's
I
been 12
know
years for
what's
me,
going
so
on. I know. Hey, there's rivalries everywhere.
That's
Auburn,
true.
Alabama,
That's true.
FSU,
City
and
City
some other
County.
team that
Yeah,
year,
City
whatever they're
County.
losing to.
Yeah.
City county.
That's right.
City is better than county today.
You know what? I'm gonna say this because it's been 12 years. I'm gonna have to agree with them. I think the instructors, or excuse me, the captains and the officers. That's what I meant. The officers are just a little.
Yeah.
I would say they're a little smarter. I mean, from the people
I mean,
that I know.
just from the people I know.
Yeah, I've been out of it for 12 years, and I think a lot of the county's problem too is they're always short-staffed and they have a lot more stations. What, the county has what, 16? How many do the county
I
have?
don't even know how many they
Can
have.
we
How many
just?
does the city have?
We have 5 stations.
Yeah,
Five
so
stations.
yeah, that's what I was saying. So the county's so spread thin, and this is why I say that. The county's so spread thin, they just let a lot of people jump in there. Now, I don't know what the rules are. It's been 10, let's see. 90, so it's probably been 12
Carry the
years.
two.
12, 13, yeah, it's been 12 or 13 years. So I'm sure the rules are a lot different than they were 12 or 13 years ago.
Yeah,
And there's always like new codes and stuff like
Oh,
that.
things
like,
change
always. So,
all
there's
the
always
time.
training. There's never not any training.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
You know, and things are constantly changing. Like even the rules and stipend. Well, you guys don't even have stipend, do you?
No.
Not in the city.
No,
You
we're
guys are all
salary.
paid. Yeah,
So
you guys
what's
are all
the
salary.
big thing, the hammer-looking thing that's got like jagged thing, and then that's like it can open a door?
That's a
but it
Halligan.
Halligan.
That's what we couldn't think of.
Dang
I
it.
couldn't even think of the tools name. That's too
Halligan.
long for me.
That's like
That's
the,
like
that's
my-
like the
I'm gonna-
main
If I ever
one.
have a me and Nicole's not. But if we were having a son, it would call Halligan. That's a good
I know
one.
a lot of guys
I was
that
thinking more like
maybe,
Gilligan,
maybe or
but-
maybe not have named their animals
Halligan.
Halligan or
Hal or
Humper or stuff like that.
Now, do you name it? Do you name your Halligan?
I don't know.
You just give me my tool.
No,
I gotta go
that's
to work.
it.
So
Just grab the
let me
tool.
share this while we're thinking about it, guys. And of course, Greg, you don't know my dad, but my dad's a really smart guy. He's an inventor, right? So Lewis, about 10, 12, 13, whatever years ago, came up to go like, hey, Dave, talk to your dad. He goes, you know, we have this forcible entry tool, and he goes, it takes two guys, and you know, you have this little part that protects their hands, but we don't have the best aims. You know, he's just talking. So he's like, can you invent me something where I can make a forcible entry, you know, tool? So my dad at the time put a slide hammer on a pole for a forcible entry,
Okay.
you know, to open the
Yeah,
doors
yeah.
and whatnot. But they ended up using it. It had some made to pull down ceilings, so it's just
Right.
like a little 1 pound slide. So they take it up and pull the ceilings
Yeah.
down. But it worked out well. I never really marketed it just because my time is preoccupied at this
Sure.
facility. But he had some really good ideas. But that was some of the banter that we go back and forth with Lewis.
That
Hey, invent me some
makes
stuff.
that's what would you say you put? You said it was.
Well, it's a slide hammer. It's like because a forcible
Because
entry
you lost
tool.
me at slide hammer.
Well, a Halligan is a.
I
It's
thought
a
that was what Greg Maddox threw or something.
No, no.
I was like, what's going on
no, a
here?
Halligan
Band
is a
name,
forcible
claim
entry tool.
Band name, yeah.
And so what you have somebody do is they get on their knee, and you have one guy that holds it at a certain angle, and then has a bar to come out to protect their hands in case you get.
Oh, okay.
So and then the other guy would take the axe back into the axe and hit it, and so the forcible entry tool, you know, applied we didn't test all the doors, but applied enough force that you could get into that,
Right.
you know,
Okay.
crack the door open.
I see what you're saying.
But yeah, that went well.
Like the
and
paint
it would have
pictures
done
from
well.
Remember
Yeah,
Pictures.
it would have done well. Just my time with marketing.
Yeah.
We were still not in our infancy, but we were still at the beginning years of this company. And I was
Growing.
on the road.
What you had going on.
Yeah, I was on the road.
Yeah.
I think we had a
Understood.
cutting system at that time, and a bias binder, and some other thing. We
Yeah.
had 3 products. You know, now
Yeah.
of course it's way different, but back then it wasn't.
Like 500 now.
So, you know, I'd do shifts and then come back, and then I'd go out of town, do my shows, and I'd come back, and Lewis said, hey, can you cover this? You cover this? Yeah, sure. And then we had stipend. So I don't even know
And this is
did you
all-
know what stipend was? Did you ever heard of that?
Yeah, I've
term?
heard of it, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Stipend, what, money, right?
Yeah, so stipend would be,
That's what, college players get and all that good
It's
stuff.
for like the volunteer.
yeah,
guys,
it's like for the volunteer guys that had a lot invested in it and a lot of time invested
to
in it,
give
but
them
didn't make
some
a career.
change to be able to function. Yeah.
Yeah,
But you have to do like so many hours.
Oh, yeah,
or-
yeah.
You have to
Uh,
like volunteer so many hours, I think.
So you're employee. Like,
Oh
you
yeah,
don't get-
yeah. No. I'm straight salary.
Yeah,
I
good.
think all the
good,
cities
good.
straight salary.
Yep.
Yeah, the other thing too is that, you know, I really enjoyed my time, and I wanted to do, you know, I was gung-ho. I think I was probably 29, 30, 31. I was gung-ho about being in the fire service. Loved it. You know, I was in really good shape, going to the gym all the time. But then I found out, you know, I think back then, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because my memory's horrible, man. But I want to say the starting salary in Pensacola was like 28 grand.
It was.
And I'm
It
like,
was.
dude, I can't feed my dog. My
It
dog
was like
eats more than
26
that.
actually.
Yeah,
26,
I was
yeah.
in on that. Yeah. 26,
Oh, were you? You remember that, huh?
Yeah, I started in 06.
Yeah, that's right
So,
when
yeah.
around the
Yeah,
time
So
I
it
stopped.
was like 26K, like starting out.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just too brutal. And then you could get
You
other
know,
certs
I
though.
hate that.
You could
because,
get
know,
EMS
you could
training.
Go, literally, you probably work at McDonald's for $25,000 back
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
You know, 26, right?
yep.
Maybe for like I don't know, but that's such an important position to have.
Oh yeah, it was worth it. I
And
mean, the
You
pay
know
didn't
you're
sound
gonna-
like a
you know
lot.
you're going to
Yeah.
go up.
Right,
It's
right.
just the entry. That's
Right.
entry level.
I think cadet was actually like 17.
Yeah.
And
You got to love what you do, man.
Yes.
I loved firefighting. I absolutely wanted to make it my, you know, I wanted to make it my life. I mean, that's what I did at the time. And then, you know, but you start a family, it's
the
tough.
family business
It's
pulled that
tough.
out,
Well,
yeah.
it's not even that. If I'm having a kid, I can't survive on
Well, you told me a
$28,000.
lot of the things that, and we're going to touch into that here in a second. We're going to get real personal, but a lot of the reasons why you had to walk away is because of what you see.
Oh yeah, that's for
That's
sure
gotta
tough.
be,
Yeah, you see some stuff, man. That's for
yeah,
sure.
and
And thankfully now, with PTSD and trauma, like they actually have people that come to the station and talk to us. You read about it in the books.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
you're supposed to debrief this, that, and third. Maybe it didn't always happen, but now they're really taking it serious.
well, and I think even back then, people were too strong-hearted and be like, "Hey, I don't need that. I don't need
Right.
that. That's
Of
be.
course.
I'm bad.
Strong-hearted or
Yeah.
hard-headed?
It's hard-headed.
Well, I'll tell you like this, and I'm going to use a sports analogy here. Back then when we were younger, we played baseball, right?
Yeah.
The pitchers go out there. I'd pitch 120 pitches. He'd take me out. My arm would be sore. They call it dead arm. Next thing, he put me back in. Like, Dad, now you can't do that. You have a pitch count, especially in the bigs and in college. They
Yeah,
take
when
care of you.
we were growing
it's the same
up,
thing.
like, you don't get this, youngin'. We didn't have no daggone pitch counts.
Right.
We threw, like I would say, Randy McBride. We threw Randy McBride out there every week, until he was dead.
Dude, it destroys your arm, man. My shoulder still
It
has
did.
problems from when I was younger.
But So
But
we didn't
same
have-
principle. Back then, like as a firefighter, they didn't probably understand how
No.
much damage that, I'm not going to go into great detail, but when you see a 17-year-old girl and she's in the woods and there's trees sticking out of her body, man, that stays with you.
See, I couldn't imagine it.
Kids, I couldn't deal with
you know
kids.
Knowles,
Couldn't
don't
deal
you,
with kids.
Jonathan? Yeah. So Knowles did it for just a few years. And he walked away.
Oh,
And-
it's-
and,
yeah. You
I
gotta be strong
I know the
here,
event
man.
he's talking about, but that was his last day. He put down his helmet. He said, "I'm out. I'm not doing it anymore." And it's because of the stuff that he's saying. I can't.
Well, you got to be
You never
strong
want to see
mentally,
it.
man.
We never
You got
want
to
it for
be strong.
anybody. So let's get into fire. How about that? So what's the most common thing? Like, what's the most common call you get?
Oh man.
And you know it, dude, you know it.
Helping elderly patients up off the ground in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it usually
Been there, done that one.
involves bodily fluid.
Yeah.
I would say 90% of the medical calls we go on, which is 90% of the calls, period.
Right.
90% of those calls involve
You don't
bodily
bring the
fluid.
big. You bring a truck for that, right?
Right.
You don't bring the rig out, do you?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. We don't have anything else but the fire trucks.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they
Yes.
don't
Oh,
run
I didn't
that.
know that. I thought like,
it's-
let's just bring the Explorer.
No.
Well, that's a good question. Though. Let me ask you
It's
this:
grandma.
Did they run the what's
See,
the
I'm
word I'm looking
learning.
for? Do they at your station? Do they always run the regular rig, or do they have a? Because like I know when I first started, it got taken away a couple of years. They would have the
Like a rescue truck.
yeah rescue truck.
Yeah, no. So we lost our rescue trucks. Back in 2010, somewhere in there, due to disagreements, agreements with the city, bargaining, all that stuff. But no, we used to run medical calls only with the rescue trucks, depending on what station they're at and what territory they had. But for the most part, it's our engines that run.
Yeah, well, we
that
lost
run.
ours.
But
We
it's
started doing all
probably good to
engines.
get the engine out anyway, right?
It
Not
depends
for
on how you want to
that.
look at it. It depends on how you want to look at it because
Now, what do you?
You're
now, remember,
talking
now, you
wear
told
and
me
tear.
earlier, he's the one having to drive it.
Right.
Greg is the one
Oh,
driving.
Yeah.
so they everybody that works in the city has to be EVOC trained and all that too, huh? So everybody has to be able to ride be able to drive the engine too.
Yes.
Is that part of the?
Yeah.
I
yeah.
figured
So
as much.
within your first probationary year, you have a driver's checkoff. So by the time you've reached your 1 year or maybe your second year, you pretty much have to be ready to drive the fire truck at any moment because if somebody takes off at a higher level, it's a trickle-down effect. Everyone slides up. So
Okay.
you have to be ready to.
Have you
to drive.
ever driven like on an emergency and seen somebody you know on the road like dude, Bill, get away, get over.
Not on an emergency.
Okay, but
just
you-
driving down Palafox one day, my mom was in front of us, and she was trying to parallel park, and she maybe wasn't doing a great of a job. My mom can parallel park, I'll give her that,
Well,
but maybe not that day.
that day was a
and
bad day for Mom.
I kind of like, hey, hurry up, lady! I was looking out the window, yeah. So,
Oh, jeez, good
yeah,
stuff.
that's all my mom.
Yeah, all right. I figured it would be David.
No, he stays. I don't ever see.
He's
him.
been near me. Yeah,
Yeah.
we keep him in pace.
Yeah.
So the most common fire starter,
Fire starter.
like the most common fire.
I'd say electrical.
Okay.
I work downtown, so you're talking
You're
East,
talking
East Hill,
a
North
lot of
Hill,
old wiring.
old
Old
homes,
homes.
and then
Yeah.
not to mention just old homes, but renovated homes, and maybe not the best.
Not
Yeah, maybe,
renovated.
maybe the contractor wasn't
Yeah, yeah,
licensed
yeah.
or
Or
wasn't
I
checked
can
up.
do it.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a lot. Like my dad he was an electrical engineer at Gulf Power, and he probably could do it actually. But he'd be like, I can hire nobody for that. I can do this.
I would definitely say electrical.
Yeah.
100%,
Okay, so
yeah.
electrical would be that. And then, so, a little bit of the most common, like, note that one of the girls in there, 6-year-old out there, said, don't throw water on oil.
Yeah.
Smart girl, yeah. She thought, well, we're going to get into that too, because one of the things that I wanted to take away in today's show is I wanted everybody watching that has families to be able to be prepared, because I would go around when I was at Station 6, we would go around and we have a team and we would go to schools and we would talk about fire prevention or fire safety. There's things that you can do as a family that you can do to prepare it, like have a meeting spot. Like, hey, if the house goes up, we're all going to go here to make sure everybody's accounted for.
And this goes for the grand youngins. This goes for the parents. This goes for even younger people that are just now getting into their own home or their first home or whatever that they just bought and they're 18 years old maybe. I know I didn't do anything to prepare for it.
Oh, I never did until I started to work with the fire service and seeing some of the things that I've seen. But
Now.
if you have a 2-story, they have things that you can purchase to make sure that you're prepared. Obviously, fire extinguishers, and we can go into that story with my dad saving the house. But also having one of those little makeshift ladders that you can throw out, a way to be able to get down from the 2nd story. Because if that truck doesn't get there in time, the number 1 cause of fire is smoke inhalation. So
Is that?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no, it is.
That's
Yeah.
So like, and you're fully covered. You're
Right,
in gear.
mask,
How much does the
breathing
gear
air.
weigh?
Oh man, 20, 30
30
pounds.
extra pounds.
Yeah.
So you're going.
That's
in
not
this-
including the air pack. I mean, that's just
Oh,
maybe
that's
just.
right. Okay.
if you, and I don't know if Greg will agree with this or not, but I also know that I taught my kids, hey, if there is no exit or you can't get out, you don't want to get lost in the fire. So if you think that you can hold enough breath and you're close enough to the door, put your right hand on the wall, feel your way out. Just don't go running out into the middle of nowhere.
Stay low.
Well, you have to know where you're at too. Obviously, stay low. So you get on your knees and you feel the wall and you follow it
May
up.
not be that obvious. Just
Well,
remember that.
yeah. So for the people that may not know, you're absolutely right. It might not be obvious. Get as low as you can, and then just make sure that you always have your bearings about you.
I'm
But a
telling
meeting
you,
place, how important is that?
I forgot a lot of stuff until those
Little kids.
walked in,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Crap, that's right." Like I haven't been to anything like safety or anything since I was in school.
Here's the
What?
thing: you don't think that you're not going to walk out of here today and go, oh, I'm probably going to have a fire tomorrow. A fire is an accident, or it's an accident waiting to happen, right?
Right.
So it's things, in my opinion. I don't know how Greg feels about this, but this is something that should be discussed maybe on a 6-month basis. Hey, if there's a fire, this is where we're going to
You
meet.
remember what you're doing? What's your job? What's
Yeah,
this?
yeah,
What's
yeah.
this? This?
A rule of thumb we typically tell the kids,
All right, this-
as far as like the smoke detectors, right? We tell them,
Right.
change your battery on your birthday. Every year
Ah,
on your
that's smart,
birthday,
smart.
tell your parents, hey, it's my birthday, gotta change the smoke detector battery. So with that being said, talking about
Maybe
your
make that
plan,
one of the gift is
One of your-
one of the
your
gifts is the
benchmarks.
battery for all right,
Right,
I
right,
know
right.
I got to do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great idea actually.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Man, okay, that's fantastic. All right,
What are some of the other things that? Because I know
Yeah,
that
go
battery's
ahead.
good, but what are some? Go ahead and give us a list of things that the people that are watching right now, they have a family that they love and they care about. They have a fire, and we want them to be safe as possible. Give them the things, everything that you can think of that you teach. Because I forgot.
right? Yeah. So when
Go.
I was always usually the animated one doing the tours with the kids, and I love kids.
yeah, I
you
can
know.
tell.
I did too.
So
You can tell.
when I go to the
Thank you.
schools, I always make it very animated. So a lot, like you touched on, having a plan, a meeting spot outside of the house, multiple different places to meet. For the 2nd story, the little ladder, we've talked about that. We ask them, do you pick up matches? If you see matches, do you pick them up and play with them? And you get one kid's like, yeah.
The pyro. It's always the pyro in the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but they know not. Most of them know. Most of them know 911. It's not like it was back in the day where you actually pick up a phone.
Yeah, it's
now. But yeah, right.
Yeah, you didn't know this.
Yeah, yeah. So, just tell an adult. That's the big one. If you like see a neighbor's house on fire, go tell an
Yes,
adult.
and
Tell somebody.
Most people live in an area where they have a neighbor, right?
Yeah.
Most
Most people.
99%, I would say,
Right.
unless you're out in the country, and then that's different. But most people have the neighbors that they know. We do, I know, and y'all do, and most people do. Go straight to the,
Yeah,
go to the neighbor.
go to their house, beat on
Even
the
what
door.
about all right? So what's the rule of? So, say let's just go with my family. So I'm in there, me and Nicole and my girls. My girls get out. They can't find mom and dad. What do?
Go to the neighbor's house.
Yes.
I mean,
Do they
easily.
not go back in to go get mom?
I
and
was
dad?
just about to
No,
bring
yeah,
that up.
no, definitely don't go back
See,
into
that's-
it.
Not to
what
get
I'm
fish,
saying.
not to get dogs, not to get nothing. You don't
Yeah.
go back in once you're out.
Another thing we like to tell the kids is, we'll get dressed up in all our gear, right? And like we look like we call ourselves Darth Vader because
Yeah.
it sounds like Darth Vader when we breathe. So, and we tell them, don't hide under a bed, don't hide in a closet, be by the door. Be by the door or try to be by a window. So if we're searching, we can find you
You're
right
right
there,
there.
and don't be scared of us. So like we let all the kids come up and like, touch us, all our stuff.
And feel the
Yeah. So they're not scared of us.
But in all reality, they've seen what firemen look like. But I guess
Not
they
up
do
close,
keep
though.
it
It's close.
scared.
Not up close.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
that's
not
right.
up
It's
close.
always
There's a
been like a
difference.
cartoon.
Yeah,
TV,
yeah.
TV,
Yeah.
the fire dog that's out
Right.
there. Yeah.
They don't actually like hear it and like get to
They
touch
don't
it.
see, and they're like,
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important. I have to agree with Brandon. That's
I
why
didn't
it's
see-
so
that's-
important.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Bet
To
my
see
kids
you
would
in
freak
person,
out.
to touch you,
Yeah.
to listen to you, to hear, when you're breathing, because it would freak them out. They see it on TV, but none of that takes place. So I think it's
Plus, they're in a
I think it's
scary
very
situation
important.
to begin with.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're already being traumatized, so that's only adding to it.
Hey.
You're in a fire, smoke, and then you see this guy that sounds weird, and you're not thinking of that cartoon. But if you're saying, "Hey, I remember this guy. I've
Yeah.
seen him. I've heard him. I see what he looks like," or this person.
Susan Lance, my husband and I are both ex-firefighters. My house has a sprinkler system in it. I have taught my children what to do in case of a fire. Hey, if there's anybody out there that
That
wants to
doesn't
shoot a
shock me with
question
Miss
out, I
Lance.
forgot to ask this, y'all. Y'all shoot a question out if you.
Yeah, I've
for
been
Greg.
keeping up.
I forgot to ask that. Usually we have to.
So Brian, what are you
reload.
watching right now? Are you on Facebook or YouTube?
Yeah, I'm on the FB.
Okay, so I'm on I'm on YouTube. So anybody, that's a great point. If you have any questions for Greg and any comments, please shoot out, and I'm try to watch YouTube, and Brian will get Facebook.
I mean, there's a lot of
got
thanks
it.
for his service, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh
Miss
man, that's
Costello's,
awesome.
Miss
Thank you for your
Sellers,
support.
You're welcome to be your supporter.
Cindy Harrington,
I'll be your bike.
Yes.
Miss Kaufman.
Only a few people will know what that is.
Right.
Anyway, I want to ask you this too. So, for people to get acclimated with the gear, maybe just to touch it or this, you were telling the kids that came in here to see you, and by the way, like I said, they specifically came here, and he was gracious enough to come a little early, him and his wife, to come in here and meet these kids, and it blew their day. I mean, it was awesome. And
They were so
can
excited.
they? You were saying, and your station one is like they can come anytime. Kids can come,
Yeah.
anybody really. But
Yeah.
can they? If they were to come, could they? Hey, that's what the gear feels like.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Okay.
now.
You don't have to put it on, but maybe.
Yeah,
touch
no.
it.
I mean, that's what Pro Beats are for.
Pretty much.
It's like, hey, come out here, Pro Beat. You're gonna put this
That's what
gear
I'm
on.
talking about.
But no, normally when we have a big group come, we put on a big show for them.
Probably. Come on out.
But when it's hey, this family just came.
One-on-one,
in.
You're gonna do the.
I'll still do it.
Yeah,
It's not
absolutely.
a big deal. And
you
you
can
may
at least get the jacket on.
You may even get more preferential treatment and special treatment than a big group would get.
Oh, I bet.
So,
because you're gonna get the one-on-one.
You're gonna
more
get the
time,
one-on-one.
ins and
Yeah.
outs. Oh, hey,
So,
blah, blah,
so
blah.
there's different things that a big group would get that one-on-ones may not get.
Yeah, I've got to bring Taylor and Peyton
Yeah,
back. I
absolutely.
mean,
Right.
so they already know Greg. It's might as well
Yeah.
just go and get it done.
Yeah.
I didn't think about
So
it, man.
let me ask this: how many calls? And I know this is off of the subject a little bit. How many
There is
calls did you
nothing
guys
off.
run a year? You guys over 3,000?
Oh man, I haven't looked at those numbers. I wish I could tell you the numbers. I
No,
haven't
I
looked
was-
at.
I was just curious 'cause-
COVID definitely dropped the call load drastically.
Oh, I'm
Wow.
sure.
So,
Well,
oh, yeah.
everybody's home.
Everybody's
Nobody's
everybody's
home.
home.
I would
but
think
what
that
we
everybody's
stopped-
home, everybody-
because of the exposure, trying to mitigate that.
Oh.
We weren't running as many. Everyone's medical
Unnecessary calls.
Everyone's medical call is important.
Say
to
it,
them.
man. Unnecessary calls.
Everyone's medical call is important to them.
Yes.
He
But
is a professional.
the level, the degree of
Importance.
importance
I see
we
politics
make,
in his future.
I'm just trying to keep my job. But no, just we weren't running as many
Right.
calls to
Whatever
put ourselves in
the
position.
call would be. Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I'm curious, and we were at, this is years and years ago. The reason why I'm asking you this, I know Pensacola has grown slightly.
Oh yeah.
So, and so back 2005, 2006, yeah, 2000, no, actually it was 2003, 2004, 2005, I stopped in 2006. So I know we were running a little over 3,000 calls, our station, and of course a lot were, on this MVAs
Sure.
and whatnot. But so I was curious to see the size of Pensacola, how it's grown, and I also know every station has its own territory, and some are bigger than others. I get all that too, but I was just curious how something like the city of Pensacola pre-COVID, what were you guys running?
Oh man, I mean, we were. I can tell you a day. I can give you an average.
Yeah, I
would love to
seven to 10.
Okay,
A day.
so let's say 10. You run 10. That's probably
Yeah.
10, 300.
Whoa, wait, stop.
Tell you in a second.
Stop.
Man, I don't math.
7 to 10, you're getting in the rig and going somewhere.
Yeah.
So 3,500.
That's a lot
close.
to me.
Well, we ran 3,000, and that was back in 2004.
No, that's a lot.
Oh yeah.
But all right.
I mean, that's a day.
But,
Like, you
but
don't
then
even
it
experience
comes
like
in
a
waves.
whole 8 hours.
Man,
But it
you
comes
could
in
get-
waves
yeah,
though.
exactly.
So like you'll go 3 or 4 shifts without running
Nothing.
a call.
Mhm.
Period. But
And
then
then it's
you'll
nonstop.
Yeah, then you'll
Boom,
run a
boom.
month straight.
Did you say you were at
Listen,
1?
1.
I think your tone was a lot. It was very similar to 6. It was either 1 or 3. What was 3,
Yeah.
Brent? I can't think.
3 for county was Brent. Yeah.
Yeah. So the tones, I think 1 was very, very close. I think I got confused with 6 all the time. You know, they have the tones coming
Right,
out.
yeah.
Do they still operate on that same
We
system?
actually don't operate on those tones.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
We have a dispatcher.
For those
that
who are
just runs
stupid like
some,
myself, what is a tone?
Oh,
when the
it's-
alarm
it's
goes
the
off
alarm
goes
in the
off.
station.
Now, do you slide down the pole?
No. I think it's something.
Aw.
All right, so I heard rumors that it was like insurance
what's going on?
purposes.
What?
That people were like breaking ankles sliding down the poles.
Well, who had weak ankles in the group?
I don't know.
What Proby?
I know they didn't have any poles when I was around.
The last one was Spring Street, where the
Something
library is now, down on Spring Street. That was where the last station
The
had a
last,
pole.
so what do
It
you
got
do?
it
Just-
got torn down.
You get off the couch. You,
No, we're a single story.
yeah.
We're a single
So you
story
get off the
station.
couch when the tones go off. You get off the couch and you aren't turning TV off. You just jump in your boots and you go. Depending
go.
on what you go.
You go.
Depend-
If you're
depending on
mid-
something.
Yep.
Yep. You put it down. Restaurant. You don't pay. You go.
Mid
All right, how
shower,
long does
yeah.
it take to gear up to get out?
question.
Depends how good you are.
Yeah, how much you practice? About a minute, maybe
Okay.
less.
Wow.
45 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it
That's
now?
about
Is it
right
still?
there for
Well,
me.
when I went last time, I went. Like the pants, all that stuff were right next to where you're going to be.
We keep them
I
right
keep
next
mine
to
at the door.
Like
by the
open
truck.
keep
to where
them by
you
the
were
truck.
jumping in them.
We keep them by the
Yeah.
truck. Yeah.
Yes,
We
right.
don't want to bring any bad stuff into the station.
Correct,
Because
okay.
it gets bad stuff on it from
Like you were
fires.
telling the kids, this stuff is toxic.
Yes.
Yeah.
I, mean, think
I
about
would
all
wash
the
my
chemicals
gear.
that it's burning up at the same time, all that stuff, all that crap.
Yeah.
A lot of older homes, like you were talking, asbestos is
Oh, yeah.
probably somewhere.
Let me ask you a question, Greg, and this is off the track a little too. Did you have some people that would go long periods of time without washing their gear? I was gonna say, I'm guilty
Hey,
too.
you know
Well,
what?
you get so
that's,
busy,
That's
and
like your hat, man. That's character.
That's true.
yeah.
No, so
Yeah,
Nobody
character
touches
on
my
your-
helmet.
So-
Nobody
I
touches my
actually-
I
helmet.
bet you got character on your hat.
Oh yeah, big time.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got character.
So I didn't wash my last set of gear, and it made it until I got new gear. So
Nice,
Yeah.
nice,
So-
nice.
it worked. I don't
Nice.
know.
Well, it stays filthy anyways. That's the
It
thing.
does.
We'd get bitched at all the time. I'm like, dude, we just came back from a fire. Guess what? We
And
going to another one.
Guess what? What you're saying, 7 times a day, maybe. It may not be for all, like it's an emergency.
Sure.
Well, the
call,
fires
right?
come in waves.
No matter
Yeah.
what, right? So so let's get into this. What's the worst one you've had since you've been here?
Fire wise,
Yeah. Do you know it?
I guarantee. Let
automatically?
me answer that. Let me see if I can guess it. Was it the tire fire on 29?
no, that wasn't me.
Oh, you didn't go to that one?
No,
That's 29.
Yeah,
like he had to
that's-
come
Dude,
all
that
the
was.
way
I went to that one. That was
down.
bad, dude. We had four
Were y'all
hospitalized.
in the service at the same time?
no, I think
Were
we said
you-
I was
finished
two-
it.
you were just leaving while you
I was
were
just
just
leaving
getting in?
2006. I think was. I have
And
to
you
ask.
were
my-
07?
I came in 06. Yeah.
Oh, so y'all were.
Oh, so he wouldn't even been here. You weren't
Right.
here. in
Y'all were,
2000.
y'all were
Yeah,
just. You were leaving. He's coming in. Y'all were just missed each other.
Yeah, just missed each other.
And if you had stayed in, y'all. You
Oh, I'm
kinda
sure
know
I
a
would
lot
have
of
known
everybody around.
Well, county and
blah, blah,
city don't get to talk that. I don't know if it's different
well,
now.
because
but-
we have mutual aid with them. If it's like right on the line, we typically will run. If it's like a fire call, we'll run with them. So you get to see these guys. If you go to training, you may interact with them.
blah. Right.
But as far as
But you're with your group. You trust your group.
oh yeah,
You
big
don't.
time. Yeah, no, I don't.
There's no.
It can happen.
Right.
It can happen. Hey, you're
Not
going to
that
be
it could.
detailed out with this crew. Go help them do this. But 9 times out of 10, you're staying with your guys.
There was a
Okay.
big blow up. Even don't think all the county gets along perfectly. I remember a call
don't.
back
City
in
rules.
2004 that we had I want to say it was a 3-alarm fire, and there was I'm not going to call any stations out, but there was a group that went in, saved the property. They went and tried to save the property, and then there was another group. I'm not going to say the station name. They were in the garage and they were spraying the smoke, and that got us in a really bad situation really, really quickly. So we had it out on that one.
Our big thing is to preserve property as
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
not
yeah.
just to put. We want to put the fire out and make sure people are safe, but we also want to try to save your stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
The
not
best
just-
you can.
Okay.
Not break things just to break things.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So when you get, the Halligan and you're breaking things out, it's a purpose move. Like you're clearing glass.
Right, yeah. So if we're breaking anything, and even the county is this way as well. If they're cutting, they love to cut holes in roofs, and that's fine. That's that's how they roll. That's how they operate.
Yeah.
But it's for smoke, to clear the smoke.
To
out.
clear out.
Yeah. So
Yes.
we can
So that
see,
one patch.
Yeah.
Of that. You know what? I don't care.
Yeah.
Get me out.
Yeah, yeah.
If you can save something great,
Sure.
I mean, I know that it's a lot of memories and all that stuff, but I just want my people.
Sure.
And obviously,
people are irreplaceable.
That's right.
So
The
you can't
pictures,
replace people.
that is all that. And
Sure.
but man, I tell you what.
You go back to you asked about my worst fire.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes.
Man, as far as like me physically, my worst fire, it was a nothing fire. But it was like a day like today, and it was midday,
Hot.
like right after lunch.
Wow.
And I,
Pensacola, Florida.
It is
everybody,
hot.
It's
Humid-
100 outside. but it
humid
feels
hot.
128.
it was just like a room and contents, like living room fire, which is just means like not really extended into the walls. It's just
So you're
like,
going in there cautiously, but you.
but it's still hot in there.
Yeah.
But it's like 100 degrees outside, and like
It's
So
200
talking
in
about
there.
your fire, the tire fire that I was talking about,
Yeah.
that was in the middle of July.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a tire fire.
Right.
And
So
you
that's
know
what's
how
burning
that.
super
Oh
hot.
So
god.
they can't. You
I was
can't
up
just
on the
stop
ladder.
that fire immediately, can you?
Oh no, that
it's
took
gonna take
hours.
a lot of fire. It'll take a lot of
There's a
water.
lot of foam too.
A lot of foam, a lot of water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took us probably about from dispatch to clearing out. It probably took close to about 6 hours. I'm guessing 7 hours. We had 4 hospitalized. It was bad. I went up on the ladder. I literally stayed up there for 2 minutes, and I'm mentally strong. I had to come down, dude. I couldn't do it. I was like, dude, I'm gonna die up here. It's July. I'm in all this gear, in a bottle. I'm on the ladder. We're spraying foam on the fire, and I'm like 2 minutes. I was like, I can't do this.
Really?
But I'll
But
also say
do you ever go in and go back?
there's no going in a tire
out?
fire, man. There's no going in that. You're
But you
spraying.
just mean in general.
I mean, in general, like go in,
Yeah,
get
yeah,
stuff done,
so-
come out, take a breather,
So
just
you
get
yeah.
some
have,
cool
you
air,
have
get back
crews.
in.
You have crews on standby, right?
yeah,
like
tons
gonna
of
be
crews.
standing outside.
Mhm.
Your initial crew will go in, do some work, pretty much will knock down the fire in the city. I mean, we get there so quick.
Right.
It's not really fully involved so much. That does happen, but not as much. So our first crew can go in and knock it down, come out, rehab is what they call
Yeah,
it.
rehab.
Get
Yeah,
a little
rehab
water,
area.
get some water. The other crew will go in and check for hot spots and really.
And
really
then
put
you
the
can
fires.
reestablish yourself.
Oh, this one was
and then
fully
go back
involved
in
before anybody
and
got
clear.
here. Fully involved.
Now, let me ask you this. I've seen this. Once it's done, once everything's all said and done, like the fire's out, it's a total destruction or whatever, do y'all start going through to maybe see what the cause is? Or is
Okay,
that
Marshall.
so
something
as a
different?
line crew, like just as a guy on a red truck, as we call them,
Right?
that's not really my thing. That's not what I'm
That's not
paid
what you're
to
there.
do.
You're there to
put the fire
stop
out.
the fire
Yeah,
and
save lives. That's it.
Done. And
But
now-
we do have investigators, fire
Right.
marshals, and whatnot that will come.
But
to
you
a scene.
make him point out something that you see.
Oh,
though. Like, you're
absolutely.
like,
Yeah, and they do.
That looks like
Yeah,
where it
yeah.
started.
and they do a lot,
Oh,
but
yeah.
there's a science to that, man.
Because we're the first ones there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're the ones that see it. We're there.
Right.
As it's happening.
Because you could see it in one corner maybe,
Right.
and then it just gets fully involved
Sure.
or something. But
Sure.
you knew it started over there in the right
Right,
corner.
right. But yeah, like you're saying, David, there's a huge science to it. I mean,
Right, yeah.
they go to training for it. Yeah.
It's weird how a lighter started that. Well,
Amy
how do you know the
Zellers has a
lighter
question.
started it? Because it's weird.
What is a 3-alarm fire versus a 4-alarm fire?
Stations.
Oh, good question.
How many stations you're
Yeah,
getting involved?
so,
Alarms
yeah.
mean stations.
Alarms just mean a whole. So when a single alarm goes out, that you have a X amount of trucks and people that are going. So if you have a 2-alarm fire, it's basically double that
2
of
units.
trucks and personnel, and 3, 4, and so on and so forth.
That was a really good question.
Yeah.
Though. Really good question.
Amy Zellers is pretty good.
Yeah, I love Amy. Love Amy. Man, I'm so glad this has been interesting. It brings back a lot of
Hey,
memories to
Lisa,
me. I
Miss
used to
Tinker.
love doing this. But like I said, You know, I loved helping people. I loved doing I love going, it's so stupid as this sound, I love going to the schools with that little miniature house, getting dressed up and teaching the kids, you know, stop, roll,
I still
stop,
remember that
drop and
miniature
roll.
house.
Yeah.
You got to,
Yeah.
you're supposed to use the back of your hand.
Yeah,
you get
yeah.
to go, the vape smoke.
Yeah.
That was the coolest.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a firefighter
I do regret though,
back in the
if
day.
you
Should've
don't,
done it.
it's like
I was
anything
worried
else.
about my baseball career.
How's that working out
Not
for
working
you?
out
We're both on top of you, right?
I'm working Martelli, and I'm on TV. So I'm gonna
There
say
you go.
that.
it.
That's a blessing. Doing
Doing
his
it.
thing.
Made it.
But yeah, you know, speaking back to the fire service, though, I loved it. It didn't pay the bills, but I was passionate, and I don't know if Greg feels the same way. But you almost have to be passionate to do this job because of the things that you have to go through and the things that you have to see.
Sure.
It's almost it's either in your blood or it's not.
Right.
You know, it's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah, so I guess kind of going back to how I got started with it.
Yeah.
I had a couple family members that were in the city of Pensacola doing it.
Oh, okay.
And
So
I actually had
it's like a
you might-
legacy.
a guy you might have known at the county, Ronnie McLellan. I don't know if you knew him or not.
The name sounds really
Yeah,
familiar.
so
maybe that's why
he
you
did
guys.
very,
That's
he
why
did
you
very
knew the
fast.
last
I'm
name.
pretty sure he was
Probably why I
very
knew the
fast.
last name.
Yeah, so Ronnie.
He was at Ferry Pass today?
Yeah, I think he was at Ferry Pass.
Oh, then I definitely know him.
Yeah, so I had one relative at the time working at.
Was he a chief?
Who's that, Ronnie?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ronnie made chief.
I know
Yeah.
exactly who he is. Okay.
Yeah. So I had no idea about the fire service. Like I was in college, doing college. man,
Right.
just like, whatever.
Yeah.
My mom kind of saw the writing on the wall. She was like, "Hey, you're not really doing anything in
You're
college.
not doing college
You're doing
anymore."
fraternity life and then just
What's
college."
wrong with that, man?
Nothing. I thought it was great. I had no
Yeah, you're like, it
problem.
was.
This is college. It's awesome.
Oh, there's
So she's like, "Hey,
Just
go
out there, everybody.
Go do.
There's nothing
yeah.
wrong with college.
No, college.
Send your kids.
College is awesome.
It
No.
was-
No,
was good.
she said go do a 24-hour shift with your cousin that's working there.
Yeah.
now." And I did. I'm like, wait
You
a
got
minute.
bit by the
I
bug.
was like, wait a minute. And we didn't run a single call. Like not one call was ran. I was over off Summit, and they called that the country club at the time because I mean that's just.
It was the lightest.
Oh
It's
yeah,
still the
yeah,
country
it
club,
still
isn't
is.
it? Yeah,
Oh,
I thought so.
So like I did a 24-hour shift, and like they cooked, they took naps, and like they.
So he went from the fraternity to the fraternity,
We
man.
went, we went to sleep at night. I'm like, wait a minute. They pay you guys to
Do
do
this?
this?
Chill out.
Awesome.
Now, hey, let me ask you this. Did you say this? Wait, no, I'll let you carry. Is the food good at like every fire?
Oh yeah, most of
Yes.
the time.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
The look when you went, oh.
Oh yeah.
There's some people that can cook.
I think they fried mullet that day and like had cheese grits and like baked beans.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
So
like-
you're like,
Oh yeah.
oh, they send everybody there first. You know that, right? Like, hey, let them
Yeah,
go.
let
The
them-
country club,
yeah,
they're gonna,
yeah,
they're gonna
yeah.
sign, they're gonna get 5. We're gonna get 5 new
Right.
Robies.
Yeah.
And they pay for your meal. Like normally, like you pay for your own meal, right? Like you like bring $5 and pay for your lunch.
Yeah.
But they like paid for my meal. They like really. It was like a D1 athlete, right?
Yeah.
They like wined and dined me to
You
like
sit here,
recruit
sit
me.
right there, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
cool. So,
so-
this is what y'all. Oh, this is every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just this is Tuesday.
Right. Yeah. This is just Tuesday. Sorry, we didn't run any
It's
calls.
like, what am I doing
Yeah.
in
When you-
college?
hey, I
No.
this off beaten track a little bit, but let me tell you something, brother. When you run calls, they come in waves.
Yeah,
they
they-
come
Yeah,
in
yeah,
waves,
yeah, yeah, I
and
agree.
you get
Yeah.
exhausted. I remember during Hurricane Ivan,
Oof.
I was exhausted, man. I
bet.
think the whole station was up there, and we probably ran. I'd be willing to bet I ran close to 48 hours straight. And I'm not talking about with any sleep. I'm talking about from one call because the calls did not stop.
You
Did
just
you go
get-
through Sally or whatever it was last one? What was the last
I
one you
came
had?
Sally. We came back. I didn't have to go do military for that one because they let us stay home because it was in our backyard.
Right.
So thankfully,
That's good.
but normally they would spin us up for that.
See ya.
Yeah. So
Those are brutal, man.
Yeah, yeah. So I got
Oh,
to
that's
come.
right.
I got to come
remember
back
talking
to
you
work.
about that.
Yeah.
We were at David's house,
Yeah.
and you're like, man, I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I was like, that's good.
Yeah,
Go
no.
eat.
So I got to come back to
Play guitar
work
till 2 in the
after
morning.
Sally, and we rode around East Pensacola Heights and checked
Oh.
on everyone and made sure there was nothing serious pressing.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And
so-
then in the days coming, you may have to. Do you ever clear
was a
anything
guy-
for anybody?
it's
Is that,
not-
that part of fire service as well?
it can be.
Like if there's something in the middle of the road, you guys go out there.
Yeah, I
y'all
mean, we
chainsaw
have
it out or
saws. We have
something?
saws that we'll put on the trucks for that.
There was a guy that was pinned underneath a tree inside his trailer, probably, and I'm guessing here, I can't, no way to quantify this, but I'm guessing it was probably about 400 yards. You know, you ever been to a guy that's got a piece of property, say, I'm gonna throw my trailer out there, and he's out in the middle
Yeah.
of nowhere, pinned. I don't even know how we got the call. I can't remember because
Wait,
it's been
his
so
trailer
long.
dropped.
No, a tree
Tree
fell
dropped.
on his trailer, split his trailer in half,
Okay.
and he was pinned, his whole leg, was pinned, and it was all busted up and nasty. He lived.
Yeah.
He lived. I'd never seen anything like that in my life. I'm like, man, there's no way this guy's gonna make it. There's no way.
Like talking about like calls that you see things and stuff like that. You see things and you see these vehicle accidents, for example, and just the car looks like a bomb went off. And there's the driver just standing next to the car.
I've
like,
seen it.
Scratch their finger.
Yeah.
I seen a kid barely get bumped and he died from breaking his neck. Well, at least I'm assuming that. I don't know. I didn't go to the hospital and follow him, but it was a truck that hit him from behind. It didn't even look that bad.
Like a fender bender bump. You know,
That was a
and it just
little worse than that. I mean,
jerked.
it was a hatchback that was popped in, but I'm like thinking, there's times you pull up and like, man, you're gonna go put him in C-spine. Like half the time, you don't even want to do that. Like, come on. I mean, you got to do that.
Right,
But it's like, come on, man, you're not hurt. You're gonna go to the hospital, get sued, whatever. But there's a
unconscious
few.
and dead.
Or like I said, like
dead.
vehicles look like just completely demolished, and like everyone's
Guy's
walking away
fine.
from it, no problem.
Some things you
Also,
see.
Do you all have those?
Yeah.
Every
Our ladder trucks carry those, and a couple
Do
engines.
you have a ladder truck?
We do.
What's your ladder?
11.
11. Okay.
And we have 16 up on the north end, up by Sonny's.
How many trucks are in your in one?
Station 1.
Like 4,
so we have
huh?
3.
Three.
We
You
have
have
3
three
trucks. We have a
big
ladder
bays.
truck and 2 engines.
Yep. That's
Oh,
what
wait,
6
wait.
has.
There's a difference.
Well, no,
Yeah.
a ladder's actually a truck that has a ladder, and then you have your regular
really?
engine.
Yeah.
Oh,
So our ladder trucks have no.
All right, wrap it up. We are good to go.
Our ladder
Everyone knows
truck
ladder
has a
trucks.
big ladder on top and no water in it, and then we have 2 engines that just have hose and water.
You guys have a
Okay.
bottle truck?
A what?
Bottle truck?
No.
You guys don't. How many of the county have? 2 now? I know for a
Couldn't
long
tell
time
you.
we were fighting to get those,
So
but they were hot filling their bottles all the
what
time.
if you go to a place that has not got a hydrant or anything, or
That's what
it
the
has
truck's
to have
for.
one, right?
That's what the truck's for.
Yeah, so I mean, we have water on the truck, right? And,
Right.
it's like 725 gallons or something like that, depending on the make and
And
model.
then how much of that is going to get used? Like on a say on fire.
So,
my house is on
so,
fire.
so like I said, in the city, because of such close proximity, we get there 9 times out of 10 before it's like a fully involved.
Okay, right.
So
Yours quick.
it's in a baby stage of a fire, like room and contents, not breaking through the wall yet.
Okay.
Not really breaking through into the attic.
So they take the water bottle.
So yeah, I mean that
Yeah.
does happen. We
Yeah.
take a water can.
I've seen it.
But no, like we may use half of the tank. But if it's a big fire,
It's all.
we're probably gonna use all of
And
it.
then
But
there's
we're
other
also
trucks
gonna
have
in there.
hydrants. So
But we're
they
also
just-
gonna get a supply line
Yeah,
from another
yeah.
truck if need be.
Oh, okay, yeah. Back up.
What is
yeah.
this? I mean, show you how much I forgot. What size is it?
We have
5?
5 inch.
5 inch, yeah.
But we have
And then-
5,
and
we
then
have
the
3 inch,
2.5, yeah.
That
Okay.
hose.
Hose,
Yeah.
yeah. Diameter of hose. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you get on anything over 2.5 and you let them pump that pressure up. You have fun with
I've
that,
seen
brother.
the videos.
Have fun with that.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure everybody here has seen the videos. I've seen the videos where, oh, you think you can handle this?
It's not.
No.
It's not easy.
So there's 2 or 3 people.
And
At
there's a
least.
method to
At
it.
least 2.
Man, I can't
And you
believe
think,
how much pressure
and
that
Greg
is.
will testify this. You think you go in and you open it up. You have a guy backing you, hold spotting you, make sure you can shoot all that. But there's so many different for water hose and water. You think you put the wet stuff on the hot stuff, and you do. And I'm not saying you don't, but
Yeah.
there's so many different techniques and methods that you can do
So
to
where
put
do you
out
spray?
a
Do you
fire.
spray underneath it, on top of it? Or it's just,
it just
everything's
depends.
got a different...
No fire is ever the same.
Never.
You know
Not
what I'm
even,
saying?
yeah.
There is
it
no-
breathes different. It grows different.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a beast of its own.
It is,
Yeah.
and it all depends on
Well,
what
then,
what
you
you
know
keep
what?
in your house and how you keep your house.
Oh,
like
and then have
we
you
have
ever-
Are you a
order-
pack
so
rat
we have
or-
order houses all the time.
Yeah.
that's
Right.
that's typically
In downtown, you'd
I
get
hate
like
to
that.
pigeonhole like one type of house that always catches on fire,
But it's always the pack,
always
yeah.
the hoarder
Yeah,
houses.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
All right, so let's
Good
tell
point.
the people at home a little bit of some good
That's a fire
housekeeping
safety right
techniques
there.
to
That's a
keep
fire safety
them
one.
from
Good
having
one.
to see
Yeah.
you.
Well, number one, don't be a hoarder.
Yeah,
That might
that's
help.
not. That's, no, he's exactly
No, yeah.
right. That
So,
stuff's bad, man.
You know, try to keep your outlets and your power strips and stuff like that. Let's not overload them so much because those actually
My mom almost
when
burned down
You
the house.
said electrical was number one.
those melt like
7 things. in
Yeah.
one thi-
My dad came
Yeah.
home the other day, and he was telling me I was at dinner at his house Friday. He's like, "Dave, your mom almost burnt down the house again." He put it out last time with the fire extinguisher. He's running a heater, so when he gets out of the shower, he's got a heater. Mom's doing Dad a favor, right?
Sure.
Putting everything in one location so he's all comfortable. She's got 9,000 things plugged
Yeah,
into
that
one
space
outlet
heater
with
now,
It was a
that-
space heater.
that's
He's
a-
like,
Yeah.
"Dave, it was so hot it melted." He's like, "Your mom's just determined to burn down the house, Dave." So, you know how my dad is. But it was kind of funny.
Oh my gosh. I can hear it.
But yeah, no, going back to that, like definitely, your cooking stuff. Make sure your stuff's turned off when you leave the house.
Grease
Yeah.
especially.
And like when we go to medical calls for elderly patients that may live at home alone, before they get put on the ambulance, we'll go through the house.
You'll double check.
We'll double check for them. We'll be like, hey, is
We
your
don't want
coffee
their-
maker off, your toaster, oven, all that stuff off? Because you find a lot of
The
people that like
quality
to
check.
cook in the middle of the night.
Oh yeah.
They
Yeah.
cook at like 1, 2 in the morning.
I know-
My
I know
daughter
what-
does that. When
I
she's
mean-
in the summer, she's up doing. I'm like,
I-
Brooklyn, don't ever use grease at night, ever.
No.
I don't care.
That's
Don't do
what
it.
I'm talking about. Like people,
They're
they're
gonna
like
cook
we're
some-
gonna
they're gonna have a
fry something at the
full-out-
middle of the night,
Yeah.
I'm like, and then they fall asleep and forget about like, oh man.
I almost, you laugh, I almost burnt my house down. When I was 12 years old, man. It was me, my brother's going to West Florida, and I put on the French fries. I went upstairs to take a shower, completely forgot about the fries. So this is before I knew anything about fire service. I was 12. The house gets, starts up. It's just
Inundated,
contained in
it's
the
the
kitchen.
smoke.
Yeah.
Well, he's like, call the fire department. So I run outside and I'm running, call the fire. And instead of picking up the phone, I'm a little kid. I don't know any better.
You were
Just-
running and you
I
were
was
calling
running-
the fire department.
Yeah,
outside.
yeah, with the neighbors. I'm like, help, somebody call
running
the fire
circles in the
department.
front yard.
And Jim's like, call him on the phone. And he's trying to put it out. And of course, he's patting it with, thank God my brother was there because I wouldn't be talking to you guys
What's
today
the
if he
best thing
wasn't.
to throw in, like flour or something?
Flour, blanket,
Yeah, smother it,
depending,
smother
smother.
it.
Yeah, so if you have some flour, it's just
You don't typically
put
have flour,
water
so
on
smother
it.
it.
All.
No.
Literally.
I would put
The first thing you
a
want to
towel would be
Yeah.
probably best. A wet towel.
Wet towel,
probably,
yeah.
But yeah, because sometimes flour. I've heard stories from older guys that have retired now. They went to a fire and it was in a kitchen and there was flour and somehow flour got busted open while the kitchen was on fire and it just like cooked off. Like it was like,
Oh, really?
Yeah,
cooked
yeah,
the
yeah.
flour.
Well, I mean,
how
imagine
do you know that?
imagine like it is when you put it in grease. Like how it like.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
it makes
kind
sense.
of the same concept.
It makes sense, for
They
sure.
had
It was like
They had-
sawdust, you know what I'm saying? Like how sawdust
It makes
works.
And
perfect
that,
sense.
and that
Snack
wet
is what we're
towel,
saying.
Yeah.
that water in that towel's not going to react.
I
with
wouldn't
the
say
grease.
sopping wet.
Yeah,
Okay.
just
Damp.
damp.
Damn,
Okay.
squeeze it,
Yeah.
throw it, get it, or if
Yeah.
you don't think about it, just throw the towel on.
Yeah.
And sure you don't want to start beating it because then you're going to get burnt.
Right.
Many of us listening have tons of fabric. I bet they do.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
I wonder
yeah.
where they got it.
That's a really good point. Keep those fabric. You don't have to be a hoarder unless you're buying fabric from Brian or myself. In which case,
tons of fabric and quite expensive machines. Any recommendations on eliminating fires in our spaces? They've got a lot of fabric. I would just say, and I'll take a step at this.
Yeah, sure.
If you're going to put your room together and you're going to have, your fabric stored in, what cabinets or whatever it is that you got, keep it away from the electrical areas that you have plugged in.
Get the
17
fire
things on.
extinguisher in
Yeah,
there, or
I
maybe
would,
two.
I would
That's
say
a-
I would say get a fire extinguisher.
That's the number one
or
thing.
two, depending on your load of fabric you keep.
Some of the loves of our life out there and the fabric sales have a fabric store
Like
in their home.
big as
Right.
this room, probably
Sure.
slap full of
Or
fabric.
more, yeah.
Yeah.
But I
So remember, that's a great question. Who did?
Let
who
me
said
share
it?
this with you,
Miss
too.
Tinker said that.
So-
So just
Let me-
grab a fire. Why not?
Yeah.
Just
Let
a
me add real
regular-
quick to that one point, Brian, because I don't want to interrupt you. One thing that Brian and Greg just shared on that's really important is that fire extinguisher. I'm going to tell you right now, that saved my parents live out in the country. That has saved them twice. And it's not much, but the biggest thing that I wanted to add to that is when
Yeah.
you have your fire extinguisher, make sure that it's charged. Don't just get one,
Okay,
put it
so
away,
talk
and
to me
never
about
check
that. What do you
it.
mean? Oh,
Yeah, you have
I
to
think
make
I've had
sure.
mine since
They have-
2016. I haven't checked it.
That's important
Probably
to keep
out of
those.
date.
All right,
Okay.
and one more thing. Okay,
That's good.
a lot of people may not really understand how to use the fire extinguisher. Should they get one, like two for the room and one for practice, just to rip it off and really just
$50
try it
bucks is
out?
not that much
I'll
money.
tell you what, if you want to practice, take your garden hose, stick your thumb over the end of it, and
That's basically
that's
gonna
it.
do
It's,
the-
they
the
call it
extinct-
like pass. I think it pull, aim, pull the pin, aim it, squeeze, and then sweep. So there's
Towards the
your
base.
technique.
Pass.
Take
Pull,
your guard-
aim, squeeze, and sweep.
Take your garden hose, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
kids can try it.
Yeah,
They
kids can do it,
they
yeah.
that, and that's
But just pulling the pin, squeezing the handle, and rock and roll. That's it.
And so somebody needs to get their fire extinguisher charged
Yeah,
or whatever.
or
What
probably
do you go to do that?
replaced.
Question. Amy says, how much does an empty fire hose weigh? Let me take a shot at this
Yeah,
one.
go ahead.
Are you talking about like on the trucks? I don't even know if there's a way to measure it. I know they're heavy and it takes a bunch of people
Yeah,
to put them on the
I've never
truck.
weighed one before,
Is
but
it-
I know that obviously the diameter changes.
Yeah, 2.5. Yeah.
So
Say a standard hose like.
I don't know. I mean, if
I've never weighed it.
I'd say
And there's different lengths, right?
not really. They're
I
pretty
mean, you
much.
can put them together. You can connect them to
you
make them
can-
longer.
But they come in like 50-foot sections.
Are they only used for a little bit of time and then outsourced?
So we test our hose every year.
Okay.
And
if it
we
meets
hold
a-
it. We hold it at a pressure, and then we'll take a marker and draw a line at the coupling, the metal.
Uh-huh.
And if that once held at pressure, if it doesn't, I guess, go back into the coupling correctly and it stays out, then that it's no good.
It's and then it
Actually,
goes, then it
I
goes in the
forgot
back of my
that-
truck to pull.
I think that's right. I'm not.
No,
100% sure.
I forgot. That sounds right to
Yeah,
me.
but I know we tested at like 300 something psi.
Wow.
And it holds there for 3 to 5 minutes.
So
And,
she said 25 pounds and 50 pounds. That sounds probably.
Yeah, I would go with that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'll allow
I'm
it.
gonna touch mine.
But yeah, no. So it gets tested, and our people in our admin office are tracking that, how much, how long it's been on the line, how long it's been on the trucks. And
Oh,
Here's a good question. I'm sorry to.
Yeah, no, go
Diana Bullington said, "How many smoke detectors should a standard house have?"
yes.
Is it one for every
Good
4
question.
rooms? Isn't it?
At minimum one.
Yeah.
Honestly, because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, gosh, I've been in so many houses that don't have any.
Yeah.
So-
Wow.
Oh yeah. So.
Or thing chirps. It's chirp. So instead of going to get a battery for it, they just disconnect it. I'm like, you dummy.
That.
Like, go get a $2 battery.
Hold on, I am
Guilty. I am
Yeah.
guilty. I hate to say it because
Yeah.
as a firefighter, but man,
This is against
I have
every-
chased.
Hey.
I have chased the chirp, baby.
Hey.
I
I'm
cannot
gonna tell
find
you,
it.
I would never admit to this. I'm only admitting it to you because you
I-
just admit it, but I've done it too.
I-
And here's the
Hey,
thing, though.
Nicole?
But I'm gonna call myself a dummy, though. Here's
I
the
have
thing.
never
It's
done
a
that.
$2 battery. Go get it. Go
Yeah.
get it because it can save your life.
Well,
I'm telling
it's
you.
not about the battery. It's about when the battery decides to chirp. And if the thing chirps at 1:30 in the morning,
Oh, yeah.
Brian's taking that battery out and probably gonna wait.
So that goes back to every year on your birthday.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Changing the battery
There you
out.
go.
Yeah.
But I
See?
guess I should practice.
They
what I'm
keep those
preaching.
Fire
Yeah, I'm
safety
guilty too.
batteries.
I'm guilty too, bro.
Yeah.
Fire safety all the way through. That's okay. So what time? Where are we at?
We're doing good. We got 15 more minutes
about 10 more
for
minutes.
this part.
Okay.
All right. So anybody?
So I had a question,
Okay.
and this was a question that was out there. When let me see if there's another one real quick. I had my husband attach a power strip on my pole, on a pole, instead of the floor next to my machine. I discovered that snipped threads were falling into open plugs.
Oh yeah,
That'll cause it.
absolutely.
That'll cause it. Okay, I guess I'm right. All right, so when there were some people, and, we have a lot of love out here.
Oh, I'm sure
We
we
do.
do.
Okay, they want to know when the calendar is coming.
Oh gosh, that's a typical question. I don't know. I'm a little past those days of
Oh
calendar.
no, you're
Yeah,
not,
man.
dude. You're a young bud.
Thank God I was so ugly. I never had to worry about it.
No, we've got so many young guys that work in the department now. Before, like when I first got hired, like I was the young guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And I felt like I was the young guy for like at least 5, 6, 7 years. Like no one got hired after me. It felt like young wise. So now, like in the last, I don't know, 5,
Now there's
6
an
years.
influx of new guys.
Oh, huge waves.
And now you're the old guy.
They
So
can
I
have
don't
it.
feel so bad. So I can tell you this story then, right? So in 2004, Mike Rowe and myself, we went into the department. We were the big guys and shaved.
Mike
and
Rowe
then about
from
no,
Dirty
Mike
Jobs.
Rowe's a good
Yeah,
friend of
Dirty
mine.
Jobs guy?
No,
Man, what-
he's another guy.
God.
But he's a big guy. We used to work out together and stuff. So we'd get so much attention, especially when we went to where we were on the trucks. Everybody loves
yeah, I
him.
hear it.
And then about 2006, like you said, we had all these young guys come in, and I'm like, we weren't even getting noticed anymore. We're like, this guy's the old guy now. Now I've got great. I could only imagine being in the fire service now, but enjoy it while it lasts, kid.
Yeah.
Enjoy
Hey,
it
you
while
know
it
what?
lasts.
When I go to my, I'm always the young guy.
Not me. Everything hurts. I'm old. I'm getting gray hair everywhere. So
No, but so I'm telling you, this was a question that was asked of me to
Okay.
ask you.
I don't
When's
know.
the calendar?
I don't know.
When's the Pensacola
I've heard that for
Can you
15
have-
years. I
Now,
haven't seen one yet.
Can you have special guests
on the
calendar with
on
you?
the yeah, like
Oh,
I
You
can
can-
do.
you
I
can put him in
do.
a
I can do
thong or
July.
something.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Can you
I don't
have
know who funds those things.
Me and you
so-
in the same. I mean,
Sure,
I
yeah.
need more love. but,
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So
February
we'll make that
starts.
work just for y'all. We'll do a Martelli calendar, and we'll have special guests.
There
We'll
you
do a
go.
talking Martelli calendar. How about
I like that.
that? Yeah.
All right. Another question.
Greg,
Do
you
the
didn't
fire,
make the cut though. Will.
Sorry, it's all right, man. Maybe next year.
This is an important question, so I want to ask this, seeing as how this is fire safety. Miss Roxanne said, do the fire extinguishers expire and how long they last? I think that's a good important question.
I think like the metal itself, if I remember correctly, is like 3 or 5 years. I can't remember exactly. They do expire, and the pressurization expires in them. There are companies in town.
Yeah, like that.
There's a place up on
I think.
29.
Corson, and then the
Corson?
yellow company.
Yeah,
that does,
I can't-
Are they still on
usually-
29?
All right, so usually the ones that will do
I
your propane will do your right.
I didn't know.
I don't know about
they
propane.
do. Dang it, it's on Olive Road. Anyway, right by Olive and Palafox. It may be Corson, but
Right there on your right, as soon as you take a right?
Yes.
Yeah, I
I
know
think
what
that
you're
is
talking
Corson right there.
Yeah, it's they do fire extinguishers and they do like your, propane, all that good stuff. But they'll do fire extinguishers. I've got
that's
to
cool.
do mine now. I mean, I'm glad you came in because I have some some detectors to get some batteries for on the way home. So
And we got a lot of people that'll bring old fire extinguishers by our station.
yeah,
And we don't really deal with that.
so and you just,
Have
you
you
just say
had
thank
anybody-
you. Or what
Well,
do you do?
we try to tell them like about Corson, like, hey, maybe take them there because we can't.
We're not gonna. We don't have.
It's gonna
anywhere
sit
to
in
put
our
them.
truck stall, or
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have anywhere to do it.
Have you ever had a
Okay.
guy show up in handcuffs and didn't know where the keys are at?
No.
True story, did happen.
What?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna get into that.
Yeah.
It's yeah. it
We
was-
had
it was
no, but we did have a guy lock his wrists. I didn't run this call, but they told me about it. It was in the middle of the night, so the next morning we wake up and they tell us about it. Lock his wrist in a huge padlock.
Like one big one.
Yeah, and his like wrists were locked. It was like downtown, like Seville or something.
Yeah. So how did you
It's like a
guys
bar
get out?
trick.
Did you,
I don't know. I can't remember how they said
Dude,
they
I
got
can
him
tell you
out.
some goofy stories.
Noel,
Yeah.
Knowles and I had to go to a fire department one time. Jonathan Knowles.
Yeah.
Because we were tubing, and he had some handcuffs, and he decided that it would be fun, and he had the key, that he would just slap it on me. So now we're connected. I was like, what are you
Oh,
doing?
jeez.
He didn't have the key.
Oh god.
We couldn't find the key.
I probably would've
And they
killed
were
him.
real handcuffs.
I probably would have killed him.
Bud, and he
Oh man.
yeah, I went to a fire department.
Those are
They
so
got it
easy
out
to
for me.
pick. They're
Yeah,
so
my,
easy.
the
looked
situation
like,
I was
it looked
talking about
like,
was a little different, but same concept.
Two men coming into the fire department.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sure.
Exactly.
Handcuffed together, having a good time
Yeah.
after tubing.
We have people come in, we got to cut rings off. Like
Yeah,
little
yeah.
kids will put like a small ring on and their finger starts swelling up, and we'll have to cut it off.
Oh,
or
yeah, well.
God forbid a broken finger, and
So basically, we've got some good tips today. I mean,
Yeah, we
is there
did. Good
anything
show.
different for businesses?
that's a whole different animal. I
Man.
mean, really,
That's
a
a
whole
whole
nother
nother
show.
show.
because that's a whole nother set of code
Yeah.
and stuff
Yeah,
like
I
that
mean,
that
I-
you're dealing with.
So that's.
But the big saving grace for businesses in commercial property is going to be your sprinkler system. Having a sprinkler system and
Yeah, none in here.
none of you.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you have.
What
one
are you
throughout
talking
the-
about
I
there,
think
Greg?
we have them
Yeah.
we have them at the other building.
David does not care about my safety.
No.
There's not going to be a fire system. Jimmy, you're dead too.
Matter of fact, I'm going to use Brian to put the fire out with.
Yeah.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
I'm like,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean your sprinkler.
If we needed guns, I could help you.
Yeah.
yes, there you go. There you go.
Jeez. But no, your suppression system is going to be the big thing for your commercial.
Yeah. And a lot of your corporate buildings and stuff downtown, they all have it as code now.
Oh yeah.
So that's good. And you being downtown, I mean, you probably don't get a whole lot of corporate stuff, do you? Business stuff?
Fire alarms, they'll go off.
Yeah.
We got to go check them out.
You ever do the schools, the kids that?
You guys do? Are you still doing the what do you call the things?
God,
I get
this
the
could-
spring-
we
my
could have
mind's gone.
3
The things you
segments of
take
this
the
show,
water
isn't
out
it?
of the ground from the hydrants. You guys do hydrant checks?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you guys.
Yeah, we
do
do
that.
it twice a year.
And you do that just in your.
And then
your-
ECOA will do it once a year. So
Okay.
it's getting checked 3 times a year.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, I got a question.
Yeah.
All right, so what are some of the biggest improvements that you've seen since you joined?
So from 07,
As in the
06,
department?
07,
In the department.
Okay,
Yeah, what's moved forward?
What's good? That you've needed for your department. How about that? I know you need a lot more. I know you would love to have more money coming.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's really it's so simple. Just the bell rings, you get on the truck. I mean, we've gotten better trucks. You know what
Okay,
I'm saying?
so
Better
there it
truck,
is,
updated
there.
trucks. they drive a little bit faster, which is good.
That's yours.
We had some that you press the gas and it'd take like 10 years just to get up to speed.
Oh, yeah.
So we got some better trucks now. Obviously better gear that we're wearing. Just normal improvements. But I mean, as far as like just. And there's no magic trick to it, man. The bell rings, you get on the truck, you go do the job.
Yeah.
You go do the
that's
job.
as simple as
Now,
it
I
gets
would tell
right
you a
there.
story, too.
You know
This
your
is-
job, and that's it.
Yeah.
We had, and this is just a little fun story. Well, not fun, but kid first started, we had, you call them probies, we call them volunteers.
Sure.
But, number one rule when you pull up on the scene, man, is you just don't run. You don't do that in a fire.
Yeah.
And the kid got off the truck, I guess, excited to learn. It was an MVA, and it was kind of, drivers always don't pay attention.
Sure.
He gets off, runs the truck, runs the car, almost gets run over.
Yeah.
Dude,
Gotta keep your head on a swivel,
Yeah,
especially
man, all
we run a
times.
lot of calls on Cervantes, and I mean, and cell phones. Everyone's on their cell phone driving,
Always.
and they're not looking out for you.
No, they're not. They don't know that you've already stopped. Even with the lights
Yeah,
going on,
yeah,
they
yeah.
don't know
And
that you've
they don't pay
stopped.
attention.
And not to mention cell phone rubberneck, rubberneck.
yeah.
I mean, and then try to drive. So thankfully, our department has mandated that when we get off a truck on any street, we have a orange vest.
That's
on,
smart.
So
That's very smart.
help us out.
Yeah, that is nice, especially
smart.
especially during the day or at night.
Oh, yeah, either
Especially at
one.
night.
Well, yeah, at night, I think all departments, don't they have to be required to wear the
I believe so,
Yeah.
Any more questions?
Calendar again.
Do you know anything about radon detection with the radon detectors?
Radon detectors.
Okay, it's like the radioactive gas that starts to accumulate in homes and
Yeah, so, I mean, stuff to help
I
to
mean,
not get the third ear.
Really, all we deal with is like carbon monoxide detectors.
Okay.
But
Now,
I mean,
are
we
more
don't.
carbon
I haven't really
monoxide
ran into
detectors?
radon detectors.
It's
too much.
a big deal. You're going to
We
find
have
in
some sort of
every
detector up
in
in
every
our
real
attic.
estate contract. You're going to find a little segment there about radon.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, even these granite countertops, they're actually radioactive.
Oh, very nice.
Granite is radioactive.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, who knew?
I'll keep an eye out for those. And maybe next time I come on, I can answer that question.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
light. It's
Well,
light. That's not where the radon's coming from.
Let's say bye to them.
Yeah, we're at 311. 311.
Cool.
I don't want to say bye, but
I know. Well, I appreciate you guys having me
Man,
on.
we had a lot of fun, man.
Yeah,
you brought back a flood of memories,
Yeah,
man.
I knew it was good for
I
you.
knew it
Yeah,
would.
you did. I enjoyed it. Like I
Probably.
said, if I didn't have this family business, I probably would have made even with the pay not being good, I probably would have made it a family career because I just you either have it or you don't.
Sure,
And there's a lot of
sure.
people that try to do it and after the first fire it doesn't work out well.
Right.
It's like scuba diving, man. If you're claustrophobic or if you can't calm yourself down, this is not the job for you. Now you can run a lot of the MVAs unless you have a weak stomach or my problem, I don't know about you before we end it, I had a really bad problem with the kids, man. If I saw kids get hurt, that was really
Yeah, I still
tough
got
for me.
one that resonates with me.
Yeah.
I've only had a couple, but the one,
Mine was a
it's
17-year-old
still, I can close my eyes and still see it.
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
and that's what and see. That's why it makes y'all and what you've done and what you do and continue to do different. I just can't, man.
It's tough,
You
dude.
gotta
It's
have
tough.
that intestinal fortitude to
Yeah.
be able to just kind of
You
sustain
kind of
and
also
go
have to,
with it. And,
have to be able to compartmentalize.
Yeah.
and just,
That's what I was going to tell you. That's
Yeah.
something my dad is really good at. I guess
I mean,
I got that from him.
I cried during the notebook, but I can't do that.
Well, my dad would cry during the notebook too, but the guy got blown up with
Did
2
you cry
personnel
during the
rockets,
Notebook, man?
and
I did at the very end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Old people in love, man, they get me.
What's been more difficult in that category, the military or firefighting?
Yeah, good question.
Uh,
So we can't get rid of it, bud.
well, the military, I haven't exactly had to experience any type of like combat just yet.
Thank God.
Yeah, so any of my overseas stuff has been pretty relaxed. I don't want to say relaxed, but I mean it's
Relax, but like more training, obviously.
just
or
yeah,
helping other-
training,
yeah.
just no conflict, and really. So,
Respect.
but yeah, no, the fire definitely. I mean, because that's my everyday job, so I see that stuff
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, man, I'm not gonna lie, man. I thank you
Yeah.
for taking your time. I know we're buddies and all that stuff, but it's still your time, and thank your department. We appreciate it.
yeah, I appreciate your service,
Appreciate you
man.
guys having me.
So we'll get together soon. We'll get with David.
Show.
You know how that works.
Oh yeah, always.
I appreciate
Alicia
seeing the
will
look on
win
those kids'
another
eyes.
board game every single time.
Oh, yeah.
She's very.
Katie cheats.
Well, next time
on
we-
the record, Katie
Katie
cheats.
does cheat. If y'all know Katie, you're a cheater. And I'm kidding because I still like the frozen fireball shots. Here
Right.
we go.
Yeah.
Brother, man, I appreciate you.
it.
Hey, and next time we have a crawfish boil at the house, man, we'll definitely have
He's
it over so
absolutely.
we can.
Yeah, well, we
Good.
just need to make sure we don't burn the place down.
Yeah, I like to suck the heads to it.
Yeah,
I
know.
do too, man. Big
Well,
crawfish guy.
Well, yeah, we had some. We will actually do that, man. We're gonna have him.
We need to
over,
do it again
and
now.
Alicia, y'all come on by, and then that'll get Nicole out.
Thanks for
We'll
loaning
get
him up, by the
Dave
way.
and Katie
Appreciate
over there too.
Yeah, well, have a good time, man.
They live like 15 minutes from us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Have a good time doing it.
Cool.
But I appreciate you, man,
Great.
for stopping
Appreciate
by.
your time, Alicia.
Appreciate
Thank you for
Thank
bringing
you,
him
thank
by.
you, man. Appreciate you.
She probably has to drive you everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
But all right, so we're gonna let him go,
Yep.
and then we're gonna go over our sponsor stuff real quick. But once again, man,
Thanks,
thank
buddy.
you,
Good to
Greg,
see you,
for
Greg.
everything you do for us.
Sure do
bud.
appreciate you, man. You guys drive safely out there.
So yeah, you can say bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, you don't have the old school turtle shell, huh?
No.
Hey, Greg, honestly, man, appreciate it.
Yeah, no
guys.
problem.
See you later, brother.
I'll be in touch with you soon.
See y'all. Bye bye now. Thanks.
Man, what a great day. That
Really
was
good show.
awesome. That's
Brought back
awesome.
a lot of memories, man, I tell you.
Man,
I
I tell you
learned-
what,
I
I knew
learned
it,
a lot.
and I knew it would,
Yeah.
and I said, watch. I mean, I did, and you just, man, you dove right into those like interactions, this, that, and you've had some experiences that Greg's had, and
Well, a lot
you
of the
know,
questions I
he's-
forgot. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But it
It's
came
been-
back,
It did.
man.
It did. It did.
Your
It did.
juices were flowing right there.
It
So,
did.
man, I enjoyed that. He's a good buddy of mine. So,
But really nice. I've just met him for a short period of time. Super nice guy. Super
Yeah.
humble. Just really,
Yeah.
really good kid, man.
really cool. He's a good one, man. He's a good one. And so is his wife. And me and Nicole, we love those two. And so we do need to get them together. They're
Yeah,
great.
that'd be a lot of fun.
All right, so moving on, we're going to go to our portion where we're going to, help support, our channel.
Let's do
here.
this, Brian, if you don't mind.
Actually, let's get to where. Okay, go ahead.
No,
Go
I
ahead.
was going to say, my thought process is, we talked about doing a product, our e-commerce website is not quite done yet, but,
Yeah.
but supporting the show helps. So instead of doing this, instead of us asking you to buy something today, I'm going to ask you to go take advantage of that 20% off
Oh,
sale.
that's a great idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? That's fantastic because I think that will extend. That will have hundreds of things to look for. That's
Yeah.
a great idea.
Yeah, instead of buying something here from us, just go and take advantage of that 20% off because it's only 24 hours. So that sale that
It's
we
a
had,
flash sale.
it's a flash sale, and it's usually goes through the weekend. This does not. It only lasts 24 hours. So to help support us, if you don't mind going to the Martelli Notions website and take advantage of that sale, just buy as many products as you can at 20% off, and that to us would be huge.
And how about this? We'll let you know. Well, how about this? We'll even we'll ask you what you got on Thursday. We'll
Perfect.
say, hey,
I like that.
give us some love and tell me what you got and
I
how
like
you
that.
enjoyed your 20% off sale for the flash. And it, honestly, it does help us, and it helps us be able to get Greg in here and in his time and Jimmy to be able to be on the camera and
Yep.
and get a professional production going on. And especially for our fabric sales, for as long as we do those things. And man, I tell you what, we're going to have a fantastic time on Thursday.
Yep.
I'm ready to get back on it. I
Yeah,
was
we're all
missing you guys.
excited.
I
We're all
know it.
excited. So,
I like the little break we took, and I hope we take a
Yeah,
good one
we
in the
are. We're
future.
going to start doing. Man, David
it
discussed
re-upped
it
our
today.
energy.
We're going to do about 3 weeks. I think that's
3
the
weeks
right
on, 1 week
balance.
off.
We're
3
gonna
weeks
do that.
on,
good.
1 week
That's
off.
good.
It gives everybody's wallet a break. It gives Brian and myself a break.
Gives
It
time
gives
for
the
fabric
girls a
fabric,
break.
too. We got
Put together
some-
packages.
Yeah. So
Because we sell so much fabric, and then
so this month will be when we're having our open house.
yeah, so we'll be off that 25th and 26th that weekend. We won't have a fabric sale because we have the open house.
Smart.
But 3 weeks, it gives everybody a time to
Yeah.
just recoup a little bit. And
Hey, be sure to, if you are watching on Facebook, do me a favor, jump over to YouTube real quick. You can continue to watch on Facebook all you want. We don't care. Just
You mean for
make
the
sure
fabric
we
sales,
want you
right?
to hit. No, I'm talking about for Talking Martelli right now. Just
Okay.
right now. Just go over there real quick and just get and subscribe to it. All you have
Yes.
to do is subscribe
And
to
share it.
We are
Share
so
it.
close to being able to be like almost sponsored by like a YouTube. So we're very close, and that will help us out tremendously. And share it out. Get the notification button that David always says, and that helps us out. And then also when you get to the fabric sale, go ahead and share it out again. I mean, it never hurts. This is just stuff we love to do. It's a little bit different because we're bringing in guests that not necessarily in the sewing quilting industry, but hey, watch out. Y'all are going to want to stay tuned in the upcoming month because we have a lot to go over in the sewing and quilting industry. We've got embroidery. We've got quilting on a budget. Seth is coming back. We didn't even have enough time for
the first
15 episodes for Seth.
Yep.
But we've got a multitude of guests coming in just for us in this industry, and we know it's dominated by that. But we sure do love and appreciate everybody that chimes in.
Yep. And we enjoy the company too. Love having you come on. Love each and every one of you. We're so grateful and we're so thankful for the support you show us each and every week.
Absolutely.
And then of course, as Brian said, if you can always like, comment, and definitely share, that
Please,
helps
please.
us. That helps us
We're
tremendously.
so close. We want to get to 1,000. Remember, when we do it 1,000, we're going to do a nice giveaway for everybody.
If you're talking about fabric sales, if we get to 1,000, man, it will be machine giveaway every single week.
Every week.
Every week.
Every week.
Yeah.
I mean,
We
may
get to
do
that.
500 to 700. We did, but all right, guys.
Sure,
I think we're
appreciate you.
good.
We'll see you Thursday, right, Brian?
Yes, sir. Thursday,
Martelli.
1 to 7
on the main Martelli Enterprise main Facebook page.
Central Time. Hey, and remember, you want to be quick this week. You want to
It's
be
all
quick.
deal-based.
There's
They're
not
all-
enough to go around, so you know what to do.
It's all based off of deals this week too, so it's going to be deal heavy this week, and not so much. fabric.
Katie, no, the fabric sale is not going to be on YouTube this week. It'll be
No.
on the Martelli main Facebook page. So
Only.
Martelli Enterprises.
Only.
That's it.
Go to
It's
Facebook
gonna be on that
and
platform.
you type in Martelli Enterprises,
That's
and that's
it.
where the fabric sale will be.
And it's going to stay there. So we'll do that. But we will see you Thursday. Good. We had a great day. I want to thank special guest and firefighter and veteran.
Yep.
We're lucky to have him in the community.
Very
Absolutely.
lucky. I'm glad that I can call him a friend and his family
Right.
friends. And want to thank Alicia. She was in the background and she was taking pictures and having a good time. So thank you, Greg, for stopping by.
Sure do appreciate you, buddy.
Yes, and we appreciate everybody out there that tunes in and likes and loves us, and we sure do love you too. So from David and I, we appreciate you. We'll see you Thursday, okay?